Well, the two-man team derby went just about as much as I expected. I got my ass kicked. In the heat, my partner was taken out due to injuries, and there was no way I was going to survive against the two Camrys. They hit me pretty good. The driver's side here doesn't look like it has any more damage than what it did going in. What took me out in the heat was I got put into the wall pretty hard, and it snapped the lower control arm right off. And I thought I was done. It pulled out the axle, and then when I was against the wall, I took 2 or 3 good shots, but that's what happens. As you can see, the passenger side is pretty much done on this car. Axle is right into the body. That tire basically doesn't turn anymore. So I thought I was done. I went to go check on my teammate in the ambulance. He was okay. He just has some bruising all around his rib cage and all that. He ended up going home. He said that his car was okay, but he didn't want to go back in because he was hurt, obviously. And I wasn't going to go back in, and then Cassandra, my wife, says something about a ratchet strap, and I get this great idea to put a ratchet strap from that hole in the control arm to the hole in the control arm on the other side, and basically ratchet strap the 2 control arms in to put the axle back in. I knew it was a temporary fix, but the only reason I did it was to try to make us not the dead last team. If I went out into the finals and I made a couple, like the B feature, and made a couple hits and survived for a bit, our team would not be dead last. So by me making it out there, we came second dead last. It's about as what I expected out of this car. Front end really didn't move, and that's basically for a lack of not really hitting anybody with it. I hit one car, and it took my whole homemade rad system and pushed it into the intake again. It was kind of starving for air, but not really. I think it was mostly getting a little bit of water in there. Other than that, this car actually still runs and drives if you just put a ratchet strap on there. But how beat the back end is, I'm not going to fix this one. So that means that the motor is going to be pulled out of this. But those Camrys, those fully welded Pro Camrys, this car here, like maybe if you made this thing at the same level as the Camrys, it could compete. But at this level where this car is and where those Camrys are, there's no way this car would survive. Those Camrys are on a completely different level above this thing. If I had a track shotted one of those Camrys from the front of it, my front end would have just disintegrated. I am pretty sure it would have bent right about there and the whole front end came in. There's actually a Cavalier that was there, and he went nose to nose with Camrys twice. And his whole front end of his Cavalier came in so bad that his bumper smashed into his motor. And the Camrys didn't even move. So, you know what, these cars here are great for your backyard shows. Like, I'm talking like non-pro cars, non-stuffing cars. If you could stuff these from bumper to firewall, I would say these would be a different kind of car, to be honest. But I don't think these things compete with the Camry. Maybe your backyard shows where the Camrys are not as built and more of a stock car, and this thing's more of a stock car, I think you might have a chance just because of the weapon of the back of this thing. But at a pro show, I don't think this thing's really gonna stand up as well as a Camry would. But you know what, it was a learning experience. I have never seen one of these done. We are going to pull this motor to put inside that HHR because I have it. I'm going to hold off on buying a couple more of these because of the fact of the matter is it is a lot of work, and the spindle swaps that are required for me to do to make these cars competitive basically makes me run Pro Mini every time because I'm altering the suspension. But backyard shows where they don't know, or if it's in the rules that you can do that, these cars would be different. Like those Ontario shows that I ran with this car was in the rules and it held up great. The only problem is 1, I got stuck, and 2, I got my intake crushed off and put on the blocks. So at a more of a stock show where you're allowed to do the suspension swaps, these cars are great. But I don't know. One thing I did notice in Lakefield is for a lot of thrill show events and a lot of Greg's Pro shows, I need to step up my cages. You guys seen some of the cages inside those cars? They are phenomenal. There is there's a big difference between how this car is built and how those ones are built with the cages. So I think that's going to be my next thing, is to build a really nice cage and maybe just have it for Camrys to bolt in. I don't know, maybe a little bit adjustable for something else. We'll see. But this car here, as bad as everything is in the front of it, nothing has bent past rad support. Like, yes, the frame is buckled on both sides, but nothing past rad support, nothing into subframe yet either. And then, yes, the passenger side is beat. Like that door is pushed in quite a bit, but none of the supports in the floor are gone. The seat support, which you have right here, that is not bent. My post to post is into the door jamb where I left it, but it didn't move. None of the floor has given way. The rear wheel wells have not even bent in yet. See that? So realistically, the only thing that has moved is the front in front of the rad supports and the back behind the main seat support. As you can see right here, the spring mounting surfaces are still in the stock location. That has not moved. Yes, the axle has bent a bit, but this car has really not moved back here, and the internals of the car is pretty solid still. So this one here, this was a rusty HHR, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it. GM products are known for their wiring to be pretty easy, but they're not really known to hold up. I know on Cavaliers the floor seams rip, but no seams have ripped inside this yet. Even back there, the seams don't look like they've ripped. It just looks like they've just kind of piled in on top of themselves. But I think for a stock show, these things are quite good. Or a semi-stock show, but a full-out Pro Mini, I'm not talking 5 foot, I'm talking like Impact Motorsports Pro Mini rules. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube or the internet. Just type in Impact Motorsports and then check out their pro rules. This thing here can't survive. No. Stock rules. If I was allowed to do the spindle swaps with Impact, it'd be a completely different car, but I'm not. But I don't know. I think it's a solid car, but I just don't think it stands up to Pro Camrys. But pretty happy with it, how it went overall. Little things I would change. What really put me down was that block. I brought spare spindles, I brought spare axles, I brought spare struts. I did not bring spare lower control arms. Honestly, I really didn't think those control arms were going to give way the way they did, but I did hit those blocks pretty hard. Other than that, car is still in half decent condition. It is fixable, but it isn't going to be fixed. But we'll have to move on to the next project because it's just not worth it. I'm not going to take this car into another derby, but oh well. Take care, guys, and see you back here tomorrow on Zach's workshop. And the HHR is dead now. I'm not fixing this. I've learned a lot for the next one, and the main thing that I've learned is this intake. You can pretty much take everything off of it and it still runs good. As you can tell, I have all the sensors missing, and it still runs good. So yeah, learning experience. That's what this one was meant to be. See you guys back here tomorrow.